Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Amana, and I am here with your moon soul messages for this half waxing moon in Capricorn on September 29th. We just moved past the equinox here in the northern hemisphere, so the autumn equinox up here would be the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. And I am feeling the shift, absolutely. I am guessing you probably are as well. And where I live right now, you can probably see it's smoky behind me. This isn't just clouds, it's actually, there are wildfires nearby. And this is my third time trying to record this just now. I first got interrupted by my dogs. I was sitting somewhere else, and then I got them back inside and sat down to record again. And then this like chipmunk was like right close to me and just kept yapping and yapping and yapping until I walked far away. And actually when I sat down here, he was still yapping a ways away off that way. And now I can't hear him, but I can hear birds in the woods beside me, which is lovely. And it's just one of those sweet reminders to try again, right? Like to persevere. The people that we see succeeding so often, it's easy to say, oh, they made it big, like it wasn't hard for them, they just did it and look at them, right? But we don't actually know, unless we speak to that person, what their story is and what it took to get them to that place where they're out in the world and being seen by us, right? Like, so it felt like a reminder today. Part of me was just like, like it's already later in the day. I love to record these earlier in the day. And so there's part of me that's like, maybe I'm not going to do it. And then I said, no, Amana, like you are going to do this. Like I can do hard things and I can keep going. And the way that we get what we want is to make sacrifices and be persistent and keep trying. If we don't even try, then we've already failed, and most things in life we're not going to be good at right away. So this perception of thinking that, especially with like, I have a personality of wanting things to be perfect. Now, after I've gathered 42, almost 43 years here, it's much easier for me to release like posting things that aren't perfect and accepting and embracing other things in my life that are good enough, right? When is good enough enough? And the cards that I just pulled before I pressed record just feel so tender and sweet, in alignment with where I'm at, and I hope that they also feel that way for you. I'm noticing now that there's this mullein right behind me, so it keeps kind of popping up when I'm moving around weirdly above my head, so that's kind of fun. So I drew 3 cards from the Herbal Astrology Oracle. And the first one I chose is 24, tobacco, offering. So this one, just tobacco holds such a sweet and tender place in my heart. When I was younger, I grew up with a narrative that like, smoking is bad, tobacco is bad, like all bad, right? And it was only in my 20s and 30s probably that I remember starting to learn about tobacco as this important plant and offering, and something that we can use as smoke medicine to burn it, or to, like it's saying, offering. So when I create ritual and ceremony, and even in just my daily life, I feel like our whole lives can be one ceremony if we choose to interact and engage with our life this way. And like these soul messages are one of those things that at this moment I feel called to offer each week. And I have no say over how many people see this, how many people choose to watch it, how many people engage with it, whether people are going to like it or not like it. But that's not the point of an offering. An offering is to the act of offering something, right? To putting it out there. And for me, putting it online, in this case of the soul messages. So this is making me think about the ways that you might feel invited into bringing more ceremony, ritual, and offerings into your life. And this can look many different ways. So Robin Wall Kimmerer, in her book, The Braiding Sweetgrass, she shares the story of how she would, or in her family, it was tradition to pour out the first bit of coffee. When they boiled a pot of coffee, they would offer the first drips of the coffee to the earth. And sometimes I create this beautiful meal, and maybe I want to offer some of this meal to my ancestors. This is a beautiful tradition as well, that you can set a place at your table for a particular ancestor or just for your ancestors in general. Remember that even something as simple as offering a compliment to a stranger, let alone a friend, but like, you know, seeing someone, you like their shirt, you like their earrings, just compliment them. Say, oh, those are gorgeous, or I love the way that you did this, or whatever. And notice how that can transform a person when they're having a hard time, or just to receive that sort of offering and beautiful message to someone else. So offerings can be all sorts of different ways. It can also be getting a cup of tea and offering it to your spouse or to a friend. I also, right now, I'm thinking about offering up things, making offerings to my former self, like the younger versions of me that were me and are me, but are like no longer me. And the ways that I choose to continue to offer my gratitude to younger me. And I offer her forgiveness for choices and decisions with consequences that were made from just where I was in that moment in time. So there's lots of ways we can play around and practice with offering. The next card here is 28. So we went from 24 to 28. This is elder, wisdom. So this is representing the elder tree, which are often look more like bushes. They can be trees to bushes. They're small trees, and then they can be big. There's actually a big one off in the field off that way. It's quite tall, way taller than me. I remember trying to see if, can I get to those berries? No, I'm not going to get to those berries. Aren't for me. They're for the other creatures and for the earth in other ways. And so here, as I look upon this elder card, I feel like elder for me also represents the darkness and the light, in the ways that elder gives these beautiful white flowers that are great for our skin in the summertime. And then now in autumn is when we harvest her beautiful berries that have incredible medicine for our immune systems during the fall and winter. So I love how she just offers these, and she is full of wisdom, right? A plant, a tree called elder, like we think of our culture, we don't have a really intact culture of eldership right now, but that's something that I am becoming a part of and will continue to grow into. But remember that there's wisdom. There's wisdom in the dark. There's wisdom in the light. There's wisdom everywhere. And can you pause? Doesn't have to be with an elder tree, but can you just pause and receive wisdom? Wisdom doesn't always come in the ways that we expect it to. I'm also feeling the desire to share with you about some of the ways that you might receive wisdom from your higher self, from spirit guides, from ancestors. And there's this practice that I have of sitting. You don't have to be sitting. I say that in a way, like being with spirit, being with universe, and asking, like, show me, and see what images might appear in your mind's eye. Say, tell me. And maybe you'll hear a message. But if you're always scrolling on your phone or reading or talking or listening to music, if you don't take time to get quiet and create the opportunity to receive wisdom and messages, how do you expect to receive them? And on that note, I'm just going to take a moment to go on a little tangent here, because this has also been on my heart of thinking about. I hear people saying, you know, like, oh, because I talk about how, oh, I saw like this many hawks the other day, or the other night I was sitting on the porch late at night and it was dark, but you know, the stars were out and the moon was out, and this owl just like swooped right like where I was sitting and off to the side. And if I hadn't taken the time to be sitting out in that quiet moment, if I had been looking at my phone instead of out at the beautiful sky and earth, I would have missed this swooping owl. So if you want opportunities to interact with Mother Nature and its creatures in these poetic, beautiful ways, if you want these animal guides and messages, you also have to place yourself in an environment where you can receive them, be open to receiving these messages. All right, the last card is Lemon Balm 52, Nurture. This makes me miss. So I used to have a big lemon balm plant that was growing prolifically in our garden. And if you've been following along, you may know that we moved to Mississippi for my husband's work, and then we're back up in Washington now. And I have not yet, I don't yet have the space to create my own lemon balm garden again. I love having different herbs to commune with, and lemon balm is just like a really gentle, beautiful nervous system reset, calming. It's great before bed, and just as it says, nurture. It's something that nurtures us. So I was on a call with Emily Saldea and Yolanda today with Free Birth Society, and they were speaking about, or asking us to recognize the practices that help us to feel more grounded, more soulful, more like we belong. And so I feel this message here, this nurture, is this reminder. This is a reminder to you, if you have not been nurturing, whether you've not been nurturing your mind, right? And that can look a lot of ways, like maybe watching a lot of crappy TV, or having these repetitive thoughts where you're stuck in a loop about something over and over. It could also be your soul, like your heart, that you haven't been nurturing your heart, or perhaps your body, like feeding your body shitty food that's super processed. Like that's a way that we are not nurturing ourselves. So imagine the ways, think of maybe 1 or 2 ways that this week you could nurture your body, your mind, or your soul in a way that you haven't in a while. Could be as simple as a cup of tea, moving your body, dancing, singing, walking, allowing yourself to sit and be and not ruminate on something. Maybe you use a meditation like the one, may I be filled with loving kindness, and just repeat that over and over instead of some destructive, repetitive wheel you're on that's going around and around and around. So remember to bring offerings and ritual into your life. Listen, look, and ask for visions of wisdom. Look, listen, feel for wisdom. And take time to nurture yourself, whether that is your whole self, a piece of yourself. Maybe you just want to nurture your feet. Summertime, maybe you're like me and you walk barefoot everywhere and they're a little rough right now. Take the time to soak your feet, rub your feet, put some salve or lotion on your feet, some herbal body oil. And like always, I'm sending you so much love. I would love to hear what's going on in your world. If you have something to share, something that is exciting that you want to celebrate, or maybe some struggle that you're really having a hard time with, I would love to know and communicate and send my love or send my celebrations to you. We'll see you next week with the full moon. Mwah!